Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. We are back in Wrestling Mania headquarters. It's an Aston Villa preview coming to you Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Good Lord, after the last one. Yeah, but let's see what happens here. But real problems there at the moment. But before we get into it, absolutely horrific here at the moment, Halloween day. So make sure you're staying safe, folks. Not absolute storm out there. Rain hopping off the building here and everything. Disgusting out. Talk of getting the tail end of that Melissa hurricane as well that hit Jamaica and stuff like that as well. So it's going to be fairly rough here. It's going to be a rough Halloween, I'd say. So might be time to stay in, see what happens. But if you are going out and you are enjoying the festivities and you're going to partake in the fireworks and all that kind of stuff, just make sure you come home with 10 fingers and 10 toes and all your eyes and ears and everything intact. Have a good time, but be careful out there and stuff like that, you know, because in the blink of an eye your whole life can change, you know, so be careful. And obviously keep your pets and all safe as well, especially dogs. The fireworks can cause sudden heart attacks in dogs as well and stuff like that. So if you do have dogs in the house, make sure you're playing the music just a little bit louder, or the TV's a little bit louder, so it drowns out the talk of the sound of the fireworks. What we tend to do with the dogs is we have a laptop in there, and what we do is we play TV for them and stuff like that, so they don't even hear the fireworks, and we pull the curtains and everything and all, so it's always good, you know. So make sure you look after your pets as well, folks. It's always a horrific time when things like this happen, you know. Right, time to talk a little bit serious about Liverpool. You would see from the show last night, the live show I did with Darren, the Thursday tier talk, I was getting absolute pelters. I was getting cooked in the chat, rolling me, giving me socks and all. Some of the absolute suggestions, I know they were in jest and stuff like that, but it had me absolutely bubbling. Darren came out with a few beauties as well, as he always does and stuff like that and all, but yeah, it was absolutely bubbling last night on the show, and it just goes to show, like, I was thinking back after the show, and I was thinking, you know, in all my time following Liverpool Football Club, 1978 I started, folks, showing my age here, but I don't think I've ever witnessed the fan base turn so quick on a manager, and so volatile. Now, I know it's not everyone, and I know there's sections of the fan base calling out sections of the fan base for doing stuff like that. Did you forget what he did last season and stuff like that and all? And yeah, I get that. But our run that we're on at the moment now is absolutely horrific. And the other night against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup really, really defined things, really, didn't it? When you look at it, like, that team that we put out was just shocking. The bench was shocking. And I was kind of thinking, we could potentially look back on this season, and that could have been our last opportunity for silverware, because we don't know how the FA Cup is going to play out yet. It doesn't look like we're going to do anything in the league. And quite frankly, if we lose this Saturday, not only will we be in a top 4 race, we'll be in a top 6 race. It's going to get really bad. Champions League, I don't see us doing that. I could name 8 to 10 teams at the moment now playing much better than us. So it's a real struggle at the moment. So to bin off the Carabao Cup in that fashion, and I get some of it as well, where, like, you know, we might be struggling for players. Players are carrying knocks. We're trying to protect players. He's trying to prioritise the 3 games coming up. And these 3 games will really define where Arne Slot is with the club. We know that the club has stalled on the new contract and stuff like that. But 3 tough games coming up as well. All the games are tough at the moment, but Aston Villa, and then we've Real Madrid, and then it's Nottingham Forest, I think. Oh, sorry, Man City at the Etihad, sorry. And look at it on the face of it, unless we fix up real quick, as in right now, and unless he changes what he's trying to do, and we start going back to something that's a bit more familiar to these players, and unless we're really careful in terms of formation and in terms of the players that we pick, we might not get anything from those 3 games. And then we'll be going into an international break in real crisis. We're already in crisis, but real crisis. And would FSG and Hughes and Edwards pull the trigger? And if they pull the trigger, who would we get? Darren asked me last night, who would you bring in? I have no fucking idea. You can talk about Iraola, you can talk about Glasner. They suggested even Eddie Howe last night. Can you imagine bringing Eddie Howe through the door after this whole Newcastle debacle? Good Lord, it would be war. But I really don't know. I really don't know what's the best way to go with this, to be honest. It's a weird one, you know. And it's so bewildering at the moment, because we've tried different things, we've tried certain things, and none of it seems to have worked. Yeah, we bet a Frankfurt side, But in all due respect, they're a poor side this season. They're a pale shadow of themselves, really, you know. But then we go and we change the script again in the next game, and we revert back to form, and the form is horrific. So there's a lot of things out there, and that coupled, of course, with the press conferences. The press conferences have just been jarring, to say the least. The amount of talk we are going on with about rivals and opposition at the moment is absolutely insane. And the lack of talk about our own situation is absolutely insane. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get where it's come from. He used to be very good at the press conferences. Obviously, he's under a lot of pressure. He knows his job's on the line. And he knows, because they stalled on the contract negotiations, that they're concerned about where we're heading. But then you hear him talking after the match the other night, and he's talking about squads and all, and you've spent that amount of money on top of what was a title challenging team, you know. Yeah, we lost Diaz. We didn't replace him. We knew that would be a problem. Yet we didn't get Gahey in the door, so we were going to be a bit short at the back. Alisson obviously being injured didn't help, you know. Again, do we go back to the tragedy of Diogo Jota's passing? You know, there's so much in there at the moment, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's frightening the other night that he just put those kids out there and just sent them out to wash, really, you know what I mean? He just hung them out to dry, really. And not only that, like, the bench was horrific as well. You know what I mean? And I really don't want to have any more debates about Federico Chiesa. I said it the other day on one of the previews or reviews. The fact that he won Standard Charter Player of the Month for September is an actual indictment. And no disrespect to the lad, but it's an absolute indictment on those players that are in there. That's the player that gets Player of the Month. It was absolutely shocking. And that's how bad and how much we've dropped off. Look at the amount of games we've lost, and look at the manner in which we've lost them. Look at that game the other night. So poor. People going to Anfield, shout out to Jamie who went up 7-hour drive up for that, to be presented with that absolute fucking dross, and not even to have an option on the bench. This was Plymouth 2.0, and no disrespect to Plymouth either. They did a great job on us last season in the FA Cup, but like, this is shocking from us. Shocking. This was at Anfield. This was a full house. People who paid wage. I was looking at potentially going to this game with Ben. They wanted 300 quid off me for a day trip. 300 quid to go and watch that dross, to go and watch that lineup. Absolutely shocking. Shocking. You know what I mean? And it's just so bad. Here we are, nearly 8 minutes into this preview. We haven't even spoke about the game yet, because we're trying to get over the hill of the mess that we're in at the moment. I really think these 3 games are pivotal. I think if we don't get anything from these 3 games starting tomorrow night, I think they could push the button. I think they could pull the trigger in the international break. I really do. And I don't know what way they'll go. I don't know if they've been looking or lining up at him. I don't even know what way they would swerve. And it would be really, really sad to think he came in last year on such a wave. Klopp exiting the building. We thought there was going to be a real tough transition and stuff like that with Klopp going. And he came in, it was absolutely seamless. The way he managed Salah last year, phenomenal. His best season for Liverpool. The way he managed Gravenberch, putting him in that 6, absolutely one of the best 6s in Europe last year. It was just phenomenal, some of the things that we've seen. And now we just look a pale shadow of ourselves. We don't represent anything of that team last season. Nothing. And it's a real problem at the moment. And you've got Virgil van Dijk coming out going, we need to collectively be together. And I get that, we do. 100% we do. But then you have Andy Robertson coming out going, this is dross. This is not what we're about. This is not good enough. This is not the standard and all. So we got one captain coming out and going, we're on this together, boys. We need to be together and all this. We need those fans that were with us when we won the league back with us. They haven't gone anywhere. They haven't gone anywhere, Virgil. But you have to give them something to cheer about. You have to give them a reason to get in behind you. You know what I mean? What we're watching is horrific. Absolutely basic football. Horrific situations at the moment. Horrible. No fight. No energy. You heard Danny Murphy talking about the other night. No tenacity at all. No willingness to put a leg in, to fight, to run that extra yard. Every player looks unfit. Every player looks at least a yard off the pace that's needed in the Premier League. It is so bad at the moment. Absolutely no positivity, you know what I mean? And we're looking for little green shoots here, like, you know, okay, Calvin Ramsey looked okay the other night. Yeah, he did. You know, Woodman did okay. Yeah, he did. But, like, Rio was on, looked decent for a young lad and all. But this is where we're at again. This is what we had the last time, where we were expecting the likes of Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones to carry the team and stuff like that, where these senior players went missing or injured. And we're in the same boat again. We're in the same boat again. We're making stupid mistakes again. We're changing formations. We're trying everything, throwing it at the wall to see what sticks. We're playing players out of position. Dominic Szoboszlai must be thinking, I need to get out of here when the summer comes. This is horrific. Right back, midfield, 10, winger. He doesn't know he doesn't know what to be doing. I said it last night in the podcast. If he stood close to Woodman the other night, Woodman would throw the gloves on him and put him in fucking nets. He's played in nearly every position. It's shocking. Shocking. Let's get on to the game. We may do a watch along for the game. Not sure. If Ben's going out tomorrow night, I'll do a watch along for the game. But he might be staying in to watch the match. Then I'll watch it with him. But we might do a watch along. Keep an eye. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell notification button. And of course, if you would drop a like in the video. But yeah, Aston Villa tomorrow night. Aston Villa flying at the moment in a rich vein of form. Found their footing again after being struggling and stuff like that. Doing really, really well. And we knew Unai Emery would turn it around and stuff like that. That it wasn't going to last that poor form that they were on and stuff like that. You know, you look at the two teams in terms of injuries. Gravenberch might be back. Isaac might be back. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens there. It's hard to know what way to... I don't even know what team he's going to pick. I couldn't tell you what team he's going to pick. I couldn't tell you what formation he's going to play. But I can tell you this now. If he goes out with the same one that was against Brentford and against Chelsea and against Man United, Aston Villa will pick us apart. Because you know what's going to happen. You're going to have Digne getting stuck in. We won't fancy it. You're going to have Onana getting stuck in the middle of the park. We won't fancy it. You're going to have Kamara in there. We won't fancy it. You're going to have the tenacity of McGinn winning everything back all the time. We won't fancy it. You'll have Matty Cash balling out, looking like Roberto Carlos, and we won't fancy it. And we might cough up an early goal, and all of a sudden the hearts will sink, and it's here we go again, running around the pitch, doing nothing at all, sapped of energy, feeling sorry for ourselves, and Aston Villa will beat us. And that's what will happen if we don't fix up. Who are we going to play? What formation are we going to play? Have we played these guys already this season? Have we played this formation already this season? Aston Villa are a very good team. They are really well coached by Unai Emery. You got Rodgers in there. He's going to be making those runs that won't be picked up. Watkins. You know, they've so many players there. You've got Konsa and Pau Torres going up for set pieces. They'll have done their homework. They'll start doing long throws, the same as every other team that comes up against us, because now we are long throw bitches. Let's be honest here. Absolute bitches for it. So yeah, I don't know. This is a massive game. If I had a prediction, like Clubber Lang says, pain. That's the prediction. Pain. I don't know. Said it last night. I'd love a clean sheet. I'd love a clean sheet. I'd love a 1-0 clean sheet against Aston Villa. Darren's probably right. Darren's probably thinking a draw. I think it is. But I don't know. We'll know very quickly. We'll know very quickly whether this team fancies it. Because if we drop another one, this is horrific. This is a horrific run of games and results. Terrible. And I don't want to hear any bullshit about injuries. I don't want to hear any bullshit about squads. I don't want to hear any of that absolute garbage, because last year we didn't hear it. And it's no excuse. Time to fix up Liverpool. Folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like on the video. We may do a watch along tomorrow night. Keep an eye on the channel. If not, let us know your predictions in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Who's the starting 11? Who gets dropped? Who starts? What formation is he going with? Has the horse bolted out of the gate on Arne Slot? Can you see him turning this around? Have you got confidence in him? Are you slot in? Are you slot out? Either way, I can't argue with you. If you're slot in, great. Hopefully he can turn it around. If you're slot out, I can't argue with you. I can see why it's there. But let me know. 3 massive games coming up. We will be covering all of them. Until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like in the video. This has been your Aston Villa preview. May the Lord have mercy on us.